Well, I want to first of all say thank you for taking the time to join me for what I've called the Couch Conference. I'm calling it that, of course, because of what's taken place in our nation, what serious, perilous times we're in, where we have to shut down so many things in order for us to protect the lives of many people. So I stand with our government, I stand with our officials, and I stand with those who are safeguarding, because it is better to be safe than it is sorry. My name's Derek Butts. I'm the CEO of Assist You to Win. So for the next few moments, we're going to spend time together, and I want to dive in and talk about how we can combat the COVID-19. I like to say there's actually two viruses taking place right now. There's the virus that we know about. We're treating people. We are guarding people from, making sure that they do not get infected, or somebody that does not continue to affect. But then there's the silent virus. I think this one comes near and dear to my heart because last year I was treated with high blood pressure. It was the second time I was treated that way. But it happened to be when I switched doctors, and hearing the term over and over, it made me understand this just a little bit better. If we talk about heart attacks being a silent killer, it's a silent killer because you don't always know when it's coming. You can't tell when it's going to happen, and you don't always know if it's coming because it's a silent killer. It's one thing to have someone that's going to come directly to you where you see. It's another thing to have somebody come where you don't even know it's happening. As it was explained to me that way, I took to heart and changed both my diet as well as took the preventative by starting to take my medication on a day-to-day basis. Why? Because I did not want the silent killer to show up, because the impact of it showing up would not have been what I desired. Same as it is with this virus that's taken place. Again, there is that which we see on the outside. We know we can treat. People have symptoms of it. But what about the virus of the mind that is happening to too many individuals every single day? More and more people are being impacted by the virus of the mind. What happens when we have this type of virus is because we have to remind ourselves that information ultimately has the ability to influence every aspect of our life, which we have to guard the information that comes in. You can't go anywhere from TikTok to Facebook to LinkedIn to any social media channel, every news station, everywhere you turn, every text message, every phone call, people are talking about COVID-19. Are you safeguarding? Are you practicing social distancing? Are you doing the necessary things that they've told you? Are you staying in your house? Matter of fact, somebody's watching this right there from the comfort of your couch. Are you doing that? But what happens when you hear something over and over? It starts to feed us. When you think about focus and you think about fear and you think about faith, it happens to be that whatever you fuel yourself with, whatever you feed yourself with, it's going to produce the outcome of one of those two things, fear or faith. So I want to combat COVID-19 and talk about the benefits of an interruption. And I want to give you four. There's more benefits, but I want us to dive a little deep into four benefits of an interruption. So let's define it real quick. Can we do that? So if we define the word interruption, it is a deliberate action that breaks or stops the continuity of an event or conversation. It's an interruption. As kids, we used to tell our kids, please do not interrupt me, I'm talking. We then taught them that there was the right terminology that they could use in order to interrupt us properly. What were those words? Excuse me. Did COVID-19 say excuse me? Did it tell us it was coming? No, it just showed up, uninvited, unwelcome, unwanted. We needed to get not a one-way ticket. I needed to have a round-trip ticket wherever it started from. Let it go back and let it end it now. It disrupts our predetermined agendas or plans. I'm talking, that's my agenda, it's my plan, and I get interrupted. And when we chose to stop and listen to the person that interrupted us, didn't you think they better have something important to say? Well, that's truly what I believe, right? I believe if you're going to interrupt me, you better have something important to say or to do or to bring to the table, because I already had an agenda. And I believe COVID-19, like it or not, interrupted life as usual, and it brought us something. And if we will respond instead of react properly, I believe we can have some benefits from this interruption. 4 benefits. First one is this. And these are just personal things that I was able to do in the course of this interruption. Number 1, I examined both my priorities and my habits. We often say that what you do on a daily basis is going to determine your success or failure. Your regimen that is repeated on a daily basis will determine your regrets or your results. So I had to start looking and examining my habits. I realized personally, I was in a hustle bustle mode. I was going and coming nonstop to the place that I would overlook the people even in my home. I was in the know, going and moving. And I felt like that made me important because I was moving so fast. See, we oftentimes find ourselves moving at the speed of the freeway. You know what it's like to ever be stuck in traffic or be caught in the slow lane. If you live in the Metroplex in any place in America, there's a horn that's going to honk because you're not moving fast enough. We oftentimes find ourselves moving at the same pace or the speed of other people around us. And if we're not keeping up, maybe we don't feel that we are doing enough. But could it be that society standards are not the ultimate and the right standards? Could it be that maybe where we were at in life before could have been better for us? Could it be that we have adapted and adopted some things that need to be adjusted? So when I started examining my habits, I realized I was too busy. I was busy doing good things, but sometimes good thing keeps us from the great things. Sometimes good things keeps us from the greater things. As you start examining your habits, you get a chance to either adjust or proceed as you've been going. So I want you to slow down for a moment. Matter of fact, you have to, don't you? You can't go to as many places as you want, have as many people over as you want to have, do all the things that you were doing. But it gives us a time to examine. Maybe you examined what we did. We examined and saw that we ate out so much. We would eat out all the time. I used to make fun of our middle child and say that he has to have stock in Wendy's because he always wanted Wendy's. The younger one, Soraya, wanted to have a chicken from Golden Chick. And we realized that our family had a habit of just eating out. We had to eat. We decided we'll just eat out. Busyness of life would cause us to miss out on the joys of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. How about making pancakes, scrambled eggs, and some turkey sausage for me, bacon for them? But that time that you have even around the table, which allows us to get to know one another. You may have seen the familiar post that's been permeating through Facebook right now where the man walks in and says, you know, I found out something interesting in COVID-19. I found out today that my wife works in the medical field. She's a great person, and we had a talk for over an hour today. Isn't that something? That's our habits. So I examined my habits and I examined my priorities, and it helped me to realign some things, move some things, put some things back in order. Maybe that's something you need to do. Maybe COVID brought you a good benefit. It gives you a chance to reassess, realign, and then ultimately to do something about it. Number 2, it helped me to challenge my intensity and my strategy. See, intensity, I think about is short term. Strategy, I feel, is way more long term. Marathon runners versus sprinters. Sprinters go from the starting line to the finish line as quick as possible, very intense. Marathon runners find a pace that they can keep up with for a long period of time, and that pace ultimately causes them to be successful. Listen to this. Short-term intensity always is outlasted and won by long-term consistency. I'll say it the other way. Long-term consistency always defeats short-term intensity. Now, when you can get the combination of both, it's very powerful. I love intense individuals. I love people that are very passionate about what they do. But I want to ensure that your intensity is not because it's something new, but that's something that you know you are supposed to be doing, and you can maintain it with strategy over a long period of time. Slow and steady wins more races than the person that can just come out the gates and ends up running out of gas. So let it challenge your strategy. What strategy do you have when it comes to retirement? It challenged mine. I realized that the power of the dollar that I thought I owned and had actually is not enough in critical times, which caused me to have to relook at what I was doing, how I was doing it, and develop a better strategy, all because though of an interruption. Benefits of an interruption. Number 3, the third benefit that I see inside of this interruption is that it births creativity. Yes. Every time, if you just look back over history, we see that during interruptions, during problems, during pieces of time in which our country has been in something that has been viewed as an obstacle, we can find opportunity wrapped in the midst of every obstacle. When you find out not just what you want to do, but find out what you're passionate about solving, you'll birth creativity. Now, anybody that's around me, they've heard me make this statement, and I want to drop it right here, that you build what you birth and you drop what you adopt. Have you found yet what you are passionate about? The problem that you're passionate about solving? You know, when you really look about it and you think about entrepreneurs, you think about business owners, you even think about workers that work on a day-to-day job, is that where there's increase is when there is solving of a problem. The greater the problem, the greater the increase. So I want to challenge you that inside of an interruption, we want to birth creativity. But the second thing that's birthed inside of interruptions is flexibility. See, people have to be a lot more flexible now that we have this interruption. COVID-19 caused teachers, faculty members, students to be a lot more flexible. Routines have been broken, and structures have now changed to the place that if you're not flexible, you will be broken. Years ago, John Maxwell stated and said that blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be broken. If you're not flexible in this time, in this day and era, you're going to be broken, broken-hearted, broken routines, broken structure, won't even be able to function, all because you are not flexible. Which leads us to the last point, 4 benefits of an interruption. The last point I want to leave with you is that the benefit of an interruption is that it creates both possibility and opportunity. See, in the midst of interruptions, it creates both possibility and opportunity. Let me give it to you this way. Last Thursday, we were watching a high school 9th grade baseball game. In the course of the baseball game, we had an interruption during the game. The announcers come on and they announce, after tonight's game, there will be no more high school baseball for this season. That was an interruption in the game. When we came home, we realized we had another interruption. This bat that Torrin wanted, that he wanted for Christmas, matter of fact, he got it for Christmas. He wanted this bat so much. We did what we needed to do, got him the bat, and then all of a sudden, there was an interruption in him being able to use the bat and him not being able to use it. Not just the fact that he can't play. They interrupted it because they banned the bat. They took all those bats back. And from this interruption, it created both possibility and opportunity. Possibility number one was that he had to choose a different bat. Opportunity was that the next bat he received would be the bat he wanted. But not only did he get a bat, because they put the bats on sale, he was also able to get a new glove. See, interruptions sometimes are viewed negatively, but they're not always negative. See, every problem that's come into your life not only brought in the problem, but it also brought with the problem the seed of possibility for you and I to be something greater than we've been. And I want to leave you and challenge you. COVID-19, as terrible as it is, as great as it can be. When Paul Revere came into town on that horse, he was hollering, the British are coming, the British are coming. I don't care what anybody else was doing. He interrupted them with a message to get people's attention. My question to you, what good will come out of COVID-19? Do you have to examine your priorities, challenge your strategy, birth new creativity, or create additional opportunity? If so, here's my last and final message. It's simply this. When you come out, please come out better than you went in. I'm Derek Butts, CEO of Assist You to Win, the connecting place for winners. You shall be on top.